Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I didn't think that I was going to do a follow-up video on this topic until I woke up and checked my messages and had so many people who use Baron Zemo say, Prof, you missed the boat with your last video. And specifically, what they're trying to say is something that I think is not really that controversial, but to a probably minority of people in the community it is. There is a belief that the two worst things to ever happen in the game were Kabam's actions after patch 12.0. Not even patch 12.0 itself. The craziness of this argument that I've seen from time to time in the comment sections for several years is that Kabam should have never given compensation or specifically rank down tickets because they set a dangerous precedent for the expectations of the community. Now, the reason why I think that's crazy is that it's not like the community asks for these things unjustified. They only ask for these things when Kabam goes against their word, in this case, a literal silent nerf that was not pointed out, typed out, specified in the patch notes, and that was on some kind of bug board that the average summoner, including myself, has never heard of, has never seen, doesn't understand, and so that's not a justification. To be clear, I think rank down tickets in 2023 for champs like Baron Zemo or even Kraven are mostly good for cheap points and the level up of it. I don't think suddenly Baron Zemo is trash, but I do think cheap level up points are still appreciated. And don't break the game. They don't hurt the player. They don't hurt Kabam. They just give a little incentive to use them and then rank up the champion right back up. I say this because I took full advantage of the last time I was sent rank down tickets because I didn't actually change ultimately where the champion landed, but I still enjoyed the rank down ticket. And that was Mole God here. There were people who said that Mole God / Mole Man did not deserve to be ranked up after he was nerfed to the ground. And I kept saying on my channel, with much pushback, I think he's still really good. I think when the dust settles and the smoke clears, people will still use him. And I've been proud to say that that's probably one of my more accurate predictions in the history of my channel, because while Mole Man is not the number one, or maybe even to a lot of people top 5 champ any longer in his class, I still think he's a solid top 10 and is kind of a sneaky good defender for desperation when you have nobody else to play in Battlegrounds, particularly if you're in round number 3. The last time I did a skill poll, he came in solid at number 7, just behind Nick Fury, Kingpin, Shang-Chi, Baron Zemo, Black Widow, Deadly Origin, and Valkyrie, but still ahead of really good champions like Elsa Bloodstone, Hitmonkey, Crossbones, Falcon, Blade, etc. Now, polls are subjective, and you might argue that he's either too high or too low, but I think the consensus is generally he's still a top 10 skill champ in the game. And you would have thought, reading people's comments in the forums right after he was nerfed, that he was like Groot level terrible. I said this years ago because Kabam did something so incredible, but they didn't do it again. And a lot of you probably weren't playing back then, so you don't even know what I'm about to say. But during the Christmas Day holiday, Christmas Day, December 25th, this was like December 25th, 2017, 2018, we're talking 5-6 years ago, Kabam surprised everybody. Imagine going to your in-game inbox and having a special gift message that's just one rank down ticket for each star. At that point, I think it was 4, 5, and 6 was the big ones. Obviously, now we've got 7. Now, these expired after, I think, like maybe a week, and there was just one of them. But it was basically Kabam saying, hey, maybe you ranked up a champion that you don't use anymore, or that you regret, or that maybe you've got a better champion now to rank up, but you don't have the rank up resources that you didn't have 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever. Go ahead and experiment, but just know once you use it, you lose it, and if you don't use it, you also lose it. I thought this was the most brilliant thing Kabam had done, because if they say once a year we'll give you one RankDown ticket for 6-star, 7-star, etc., that gives you in the back of your mind an incentive to not fully regret a rank up. Now, not all RankDown tickets work the same, and I do think that Kabam had a very small historical precedent for getting the 6 stones back and even awakening gems, and then they went away from that because it was too easy to give somebody those things back. Like, let's say they naturally duped a champion in a crystal, but then because they're awakened, they got a bonus awakening gem out of it. Again, now that 6-star awakening gems especially are easily obtainable in side quests every month, I don't think that breaks the game like it would have 5 years ago, but maybe Kabam disagrees. Either way, if they just brought back RankDown tickets once a year, regardless of whether they're trying to justify a nerf or not, that would really give the player base some mental health reassurance that a rank up, particularly for prestige, right? Because this argument really is valuable if you're talking about somebody like Carnivore Thor, the artist formerly known as Vegan Thor, aka Thor Ragnarok, or others that maybe over the course of a year they go from top 5 prestige to falling well out of the top 5, and you don't use them for anything else besides prestige. So now you just wasted all those 6 stones, all those rank ups, and I've seen that so much because 2022 especially was such an important prestige year for the game to introduce constantly champions that were getting in the top 5 at such a fast rate that it really was making previous prestige champions completely irrelevant. I also want to say this, though, selfishly. If there is one champion that I regret ranking up, and hopefully this turns out to be not true, it's Null. I don't use him in Battlegrounds anymore because, quite frankly, too many people have great counters like Kingpin that just melt him so fast that it makes me regret using him. And then with Gallon and Cosmic Ghost Rider and Hercules especially, I don't need him on offense, and I don't want to have too many cosmic attackers on my team. And again, he's not a bad defender, but going up against the best of the best rosters, which is where my roster usually falls until, of course, the Platinum 2 mismatches, I couldn't justify it, so I replaced him with somebody from a different class, and now I don't use him at all except for the arena. And yes, I pumped all of the 6 stones into him. He's SIG 200, rank 4, and currently sits on my bench. And if I had those rank up materials back, I would probably move closer and closer to ranking up a champion I definitely use every day, and that is 6-star Gallon, who still obviously is far from going to rank 5. YouTube, here's the deal. RankDown tickets, whether or not you think they should have ever been in the game, they're here now. And if you gave everybody one a year and didn't try extra hard to fight for justifications for them to be not given out, I think the player base would be a lot better off. Kabam needs to realize that this period of time between July 4th week sales and Cyber weekend is one of the most important profit margins for them, and something that historically I think they've underperformed in the profit area. And so if you don't want to tick off your player base, just give another rank down ticket and don't fight yourself for reasons why people shouldn't rank down Zemo. Most people are going to rank him down during the level up event only to rank him right back up and get the points. No harm, no foul. It's not like you can win $1 million or 1 million units off of a top rank score for a level up event. You'll most likely just get, especially if you're Paragon, the most valuable thing, which is a couple of tier 4 class catalyst selectors and that generic 6-star 6 stone. But it would go a long way for the player base. So that is my rant on this issue. Hopefully those of you who feel like the Zemo problem was almost undersold by me previously now understands that I am definitely for giving you a rank down ticket for him, because I think it's not going to break the game, and it also helps the player base feel like Kabam still has their back.